Okay, how y'all doing? This is this is a little story that I didn't tell nobody. That took place the night I was praying for Juanita Bynum. So I was in the room, and y'all saw the video on warfaring. And I get through warfaring, and I wait for a second. I think I prayed for I was praying all night that night. You know what I'm saying? All night. And then I got through praying, and I get through praying, and the Holy Spirit say, "Go outside." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Walk outside now." I said, "Okay." So he told me, he said, go get something to drink and something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So they was putting poison in the food and stuff like that. So I only eat what I need to eat. You know what I'm saying? I ain't crazy. I ain't stupid. I just ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I went to go get something. But when I walked out the door, before I could even leave, I walked out the door. Matter of fact, no. He didn't tell me to go get. That was later. That was later on that night. I walked out the door. He said, "Go outside." I said, "Okay." So I walked outside. As soon as I walked outside, I see three people come out this one room about three doors down. So as they come out the room, they look at me and I look at them. I'm like, I was smoking, sitting on the balcony smoking. I wouldn't. So I lit up and I looked at them. They looked at me. And when they came out the door, they were like, and then walked off. I was like, and there was this girl who had on all like, you know what I'm saying? It was three people. They were like a prostitute, you know what I'm saying? She was thick, like blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I was like, me, I ain't been with no woman in a minute, so I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm single, like a cigarette at the store. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, she walked out the door, but she was like, kept on going. And when she walked out, she saw me, she was like, excuse my language, she was like, shit. I'm like, what's wrong with these people? Looking at me saying the shit, what I do? All of them looking at me crazy. You know what I'm saying? So they came out the door and they left. And then when they walked down the walkway going, like leaving the hotel, the Lord said, "Go back in." I said, "Okay." So I put what I had out, went back in. So I went back in and I prayed some more. I was praying some more, praying some more, praying some more, praying some more, praying some more. I prayed. I just didn't go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep because I just felt real uneasy in that area. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what was going on. I just like, okay. So I just heard it. They're going to decapitate me if I don't upload this video. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be obedient and do what I gotta do. But I went back in, and the next morning I was gonna leave the hotel, go get some more money to pay for my room because I have enough to pay for the room. So I leave out the room, and while I'm sitting in the room, like I'm still in the room that morning, like I'm just still in there. And some girl came to the door, some brown skinned skinny girl come beating on the door. I was like, what in the world? So I cracked the window and she on the phone, but she at the door. So I'm like, the Lord's like, don't open that door. I said, okay. I said, Lord, what she got? She said, she involved with them, don't open that door. I said, okay. So I went, sat down. They went knocking on another door. You know what I'm saying? So I left, and I heard somebody crying a couple rooms down. I ain't know what, but I heard somebody crying. I said, okay. So I ended up leaving. The Lord was like, you need to get out of there. I said, okay. So I left. So once I left, I was finna leave the hotel, and I'm walking away from the hotel, and this fat girl come up to me. And this fat girl was like, I get across the street. She's like, hey, come here. I said, huh? She said, come here. I said, nah. I stopped for her. I said, Lord, you want me to go see? He said, no. I said, okay. So I left. And once I left, that was the end. So I don't know, but and I'm going to say this. Everywhere in the atmosphere, I keep hearing, hey, they try to give him all his money back, try to give him all his money back. I'm like, what you talking about? But that's all I wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happened at that hotel, I don't know what happened at the hotel. And this is at next door, almost like walking distance, like a few feet away from KCC Charlotte, Prophet Brian Carnes Church. Okay, so this is part 2 of the last video I just did about the night I prayed for Juanita Bynum, subtitled The Next Morning. Now, I had a job at I had a supervisor named Jordan, right? So he gave me, we was talking, we was on the shift like the first night, and I think toward the end of the shift, since there wasn't that many people working, it was me, him, and my trainer. We was all sitting together talking. He was telling me, man, you find all kind of stuff in this garage, man. People leaving weed, wads of money in the garage, you know, all kind of stuff, just finding stuff all in the garage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow. So he was walking around, we walking around, and he found a knife. He found this knife that y'all saw me post on Facebook. It says True on it, but that's not my knife. It was his. So I was like, oh, man, let me get that, man. He was like, all right, go ahead. So he gave it to me. He gave it to me, so I kept it. You know, so I ain't never used it except for to eat, because I ain't had no fork in the room. I used a big old bowl. I used the ice bucket to put ramen noodles in. I heat up the ramen noodles and eat the noodles with the knife, you know what I'm saying, when I'm done cooking it or whatever. So I had that, or I would just chop up, when I had breakfast, I would chop up apples and bananas and put it in the bowl with cereal, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, and with a jug of milk I had it. But anyway, other than that, you know, I was leaving the room that morning, so I left, and then a girl, you know, she was trying to tell me she wanted, but you heard what I said about the last video. Okay, so I left. I walked over to the church. It was early in the morning, real early. So I walked over to the church and walked to the front door, and there was like a carpet van in front of the church. You know what I'm saying? And I went to the door because I was going to go over there and pray. You know me, I ain't going to do nothing but pray. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to get my prayer in. So I walked to the door, and the door was locked. And when I seen this dreadhead dude sitting behind the desk, like one of the gatekeepers for the church. You know, I know the brother. I don't know him, but I know him. But I already know he don't like me. You know what I'm saying? So he was sitting over at the desk, and he saw me. He was scared to get up. So I was like, come here. He was like, what you need? I said, come here. I said, we ain't got prayer today? He had the door locked, though. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay. So he came to the door and opened the door. I was like, we ain't got prayer today? Why the door locked? He was like, oh, you can't come in. I said, why? I was just in yesterday Sunday service, praying for the whole service, shifting the atmosphere, walking in the supernatural. Why I can't come in? And he was like, he said, oh, Pastor Butler said you can't come. I said, what? I said, I'll be doggone. I said, what's going on right here, bro? Like, why Booker's so quick to try to put me out of church? What's really going on, bro? What is going on? This ain't funny no more, bro. Like, you keep putting me out of church, God gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what's the problem? So he was like, I don't know, man. You know, this was his orders. You know, I said, bro, like, what's really going on, bro? He was like, I don't know. I said, bro, you saw me yesterday. You saw me yesterday. I ain't do nothing. I was just in church praying. I prayed the whole service. All of that. What is the problem? Prophet Brian Carn is saying certain things in the midst of the beginning of the message to make me think that he cool with me. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't crazy. I understand subliminal or, you know, indirect acknowledgement. I understand all that. I've been in church too long. You know, I'm finna write a book. I keep saying it, and I'm late. I'm behind on it, behind schedule. But I'm finna write the book like y'all see in Barnes & Noble with the yellow cover, like maintenance for dummies. And I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna get with that company and talk to them about writing a book called Church for Dummies. Because I've seen too much, and it's too much to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't even go to church no more. So, other than that, you know what I'm saying, he went to the desk and was trying. I said, man, call Pastor Butler, blah, 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 you know, see what's up. So he went over there, and he never came back to the door. He's sitting down over there. I'm like, what? But I see the door, the church door, when you walk into the sanctuary, from the outside door was cracked, like somebody in there praying. But I didn't know if anybody was in there praying or not. But I know the light was off in there. You know what I'm saying? And the guy that was at the door, you know what I'm saying, he's supposed to come back and let me know what Pastor Butler was saying. Like Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on, bro? I just want to go pray, bro. I don't want nothing. Whatever y'all got going on, I don't care nothing about none of that mess, man. I just want to go pray. That's all I'm trying to do. So he came back to the door. No, he didn't never come back to the door. He was sitting at the desk in the corner of the foyer, in the hallway. So I'm looking. And me, when I get tired of talking to people and they ain't giving me the answer I need, I start talking to God. So I stopped for a second, took my hat off. I said, okay, Lord, what's going on in there? Because something don't sound right. He said, you need to leave. I said, okay, Lord. So I put my hat on and I left. Walked next door to the arcade, put my bag in the front. But I know they wanted to keep my bag because they wanted to go through my bag. I know that. That's what people do in this last hour. They steal from folk. You know what I'm saying? Witches and warlocks steal your stuff if you leave it unguarded. And you be missing stuff and you be wondering where it's at. They took it. Bookers who don't love God, don't love you, don't want you to have no stuff, breathe, eat, sleep, none of that. Don't want you to do nothing. But God finna shut all that down in this hour. I promise you. On God, he finna shut it down. He already started. Watch the news, he ain't playing. But so I ended up walking to the arcade. I put my bag in the front. Well, they told me to bring my bag to the front of the arcade. So I went back. It was like a gambling arcade, with like a casino. And it's in the same plaza as the church. So that's the next place I went. Lord said, go over there. I said, okay. I went over there, sat down, went in and charged up my phone. Was sitting there for a second. They gave me something to drink, something to eat, like some crackers or whatever. I sat there for a second. And I got through, and then they came, and right when I was doing what I was doing, all of a sudden I had to leave on my phone. Like when I'm starting to do what I'm doing on my phone that they didn't want me to do, all of a sudden I had to leave. I said, okay. I already know what time it was because I knew they were going to come and tell me to leave when I started doing what I was doing because that's everywhere I go. When you start getting close to the truth, they want to kick you out the restaurant, want to rush you, hurry up, stop you, call you all of a sudden, block you from doing this. Come on, man. I done seen it all, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up leaving, and the knife that I had was in the bag, right? There was another screwdriver I found on the road. I grabbed that too, and I fixed the door that was at the hotel I was staying at so I could keep it locked. Because, these latches on these hotel rooms be unlocked for some reason. I'm getting tired of that, you know what I'm saying? Or be tore up, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you shouldn't have kick doors in a hotel. I don't know what that's all about, but that's dumb as hell. It's a hotel. Okay, so I left and I went to where I was going, but I ended up looking in my bag and the knife was gone, the screwdriver was gone. So I'm going to say this right here. Whatever happened at the hotel that I left from before I went to the arcade, whatever happened, I'm exposing the plan to try to put me in jail for something I didn't do. Because that knife was given to me by my supervisor. And if he don't work for preferred parking no more, then I know what's going on. Ain't nobody stupid. Folk just vanishing when they act like they don't know nothing what I'm talking about. Just like, oh, I don't remember that. You're going to jail, 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 you're going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? So that's all the Lord said, let that be. I'm going to let that be. The screwdriver gone too. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got none of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. I hear the Lord sent to tell you, he said, tell them to watch me. He said, watch me. Y'all watch God. Watch God. It's over. Like Juanita Bynum said.